Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Westfield preseason football. We have the Westfield Shamrocks in a preseason scrimmage taking on the Ben Davis Giants in Block 1. Block 2, we will have the Ben Davis Giants taking on the Carmel Greyhounds. And then in Block 3 will be Westfield and Carmel. Good evening, folks. I'm Rowan Elbert here with my partner Drew Taylor tonight. And Drew, how are you feeling, man? Football season is back.
Finally, after a super long wait, we have NFL preseason starting soon and now high school football Friday Night Lights. I could not be more excited.
And tonight, the Westfield Shamrocks team, it's been quite the hyped up offseason as, according to Indiana Preps, Westfield is apparently the third most talented team in the state. What are your thoughts on that opinion?
I completely agree with that. I think tonight will be a perfect test against the battle-tested Giants, and I think that this has the potential to be a great game. Scrimmage, I should say.
There are some rules we need to go over for the scrimmage, and it's that no player may participate in more than 12 consecutive snaps and no more than 48 total snaps. If a player participates in 12 consecutive snaps, they must rest for 10 minutes before returning. So that is a very interesting thing to point out for the scrimmage. It's an IHSAA rule for scrimmages. So how do you think that's going to affect the mindset for the players tonight?
I think that it's going to be kind of hard for them to get into a rhythm, but also I think that it's going to give some of the other guys who need to maybe a chance to prove themselves opportunity to do so tonight.
Definitely. And Ben Davis and Carmel, Block 2, that will be a rematch of a game from last season back in September. Carmel picking up the win against Ben Davis. Do you think with any of these teams, even though it's just a scrimmage, or should I say just a scrimmage with the quotation marks, do you think that these teams, especially with Westfield defeating Carmel in the sectional, do you think any teams are out for blood tonight, out for revenge at all?
I absolutely do. I think that there's going to be a intensity tonight that's going to just pretty much compare to any Friday Night Lights game. And I think especially Westfield Carmel. I think Carmel's going to have a chip on their shoulder. That they're going to want to show Westfield that hey, we're still Carmel. We can still beat you.
Yeah, Carmel last year defeating Ben Davis 21-14 at home. Hunter Snow, a guy that we will definitely talk about a lot tonight, linebacker, had 10 tackles in that game, which was a big part in that victory. And Reese Bellin, who has since graduated for Carmel, a wide receiver, had 170 yards with 2 touchdowns. And Carmel, let's get to them real quick. A new look team, brand new name at quarterback, Anthony Colner. What do you expect from him tonight in action?
I would actually expect a lot of pocket passing, a little bit of play action, some deep balls, because I think he wants to show Carmel that hey, I'm here and I'm here and I earned this spot. And I think he's going to want to prove that tonight.
And going to Ben Davis at quarterback for them, Thomas Goskowski, a.k.a. Tommy G, at quarterback. And going into his senior year, committed to Miami of Ohio. Last season had 24 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. What do you expect from him this year?
I expect him to have one goal, and that's to win a state championship. Ben Davis is a very notable and worthy team. You've seen multiple state titles on this team's belt, and I think he wants to lead him back to that.
And speaking of a huge change over the offseason for Ben Davis, Russ Mann, a new head coach after Jason Simmons, their longtime head coach, left to be the running back coach at Miami of Ohio, which adds another element because Tommy Goskowski, the quarterback, heading to Miami of Ohio, so those two will be reunited freshman year. So what do you expect from Russ Mann, a longtime assistant at Ben Davis? So he knows the team. What do you expect from him in year one?
I expect him to do basically what they've been doing. Maybe it's play action. Maybe it's run heavy offense. Whatever's really, I think he's going to try to read the defense. Whatever the defense is struggling, maybe it's pass rush. Whatever they're struggling with, I think that's what he's going to attack.
And now let's get into Westfield, the reason you're all here. And let's talk about Jackson Gilbert at quarterback. And the green gold scrimmage, he threw 2 touchdowns, had a rushing touchdown on the read option, but he did throw an interception in the 2-minute drill. Jackson Gilbert was in a heated QB battle with Carson Melvin, the Plainfield transfer. What do you expect from Jackson Gilbert this season, moving on, and tonight?
I think he wants to show that, hey, he's waited all his high school career for this position. And although some may say Melvin, who was probably going to be the starter, had this injury not happened, I think he wants to show that, hey, I'm the better quarterback. I deserve the spot.
And boy, Drew, even though people may say it's just a scrimmage, it feels so good to be back tonight. And we have Westfield football coming at you soon. Westfield, Ben Davis, Block 1, Goskowski and the Giants taking on Gilbert and the Shamrocks. We will be right back with that after this quick commercial break. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back. Westfield football on WHS Sports Live. I'm Rowan Elbert here with my partner Drew Taylor. Block one of the three-part scrimmage tonight. Westfield and Ben Davis. Ben Davis coming off an absolutely crushing defeat in the playoffs, 48-20 against Brownsburg. Do you think they're looking for some kind of vengeance tonight?
Absolutely. Obviously, Brownsburg was one of the tougher teams this season, but Ben Davis is obviously a notable and successful storied high school football team, so I absolutely think they are.
Yep, new head coach. Yeah. New head coach underway at Ben Davis. First year, Russ Mann as their last head coach, Jason Simmons, leaving to be the running backs coach at Miami of Ohio. How much, even though he's been in assistant the past few years, how much do you think that affects the players having Russ Mann be the new head coach?
I think it's obviously a change, but at the same time, I think it's probably the easiest one they could possibly have because he knows the system, he knows the program, he knows the guys. I think generally it's probably about the easiest adjustment they could have possibly had.
And Westfield, Ben Davis, block one. There are some rules that we need to go over for the scrimmage, IHSAA rules. And one is that no player may participate in more than 12 consecutive snaps and no more than 48 total snaps. If a player were to participate in 12 consecutive snaps, they must rest for 10 minutes before returning. And each team will begin on the 30-yard line coming out of their end zone. If the team does not get a first down within 3 plays, the ball returns to the 30-yard line. But if the team makes a first down, the team will continue towards the goal line.
Yeah, obviously I think it's kind of like a training. But at the same time, it's also scrimmage. I think there's tension all between the teams.
Definitely some tension. And a lot of teams, from what I've heard, they will look back at the beginning of the year, especially when looking at tape, they will look back at the scrimmage tapes to see what the team is looking like simply. And I've talked to a couple of coaches before, and they have said that they look back with Westfield for tape. They look back at the Ben Davis scrimmage every year, and they usually do scrimmage every year. Carmel in the mix this year. And if you're Westfield tonight, there's a lot to be excited about. This is one of the most anticipated teams in a long time. Many people expect them to be a top 5 team in the state. What do you think of Westfield this year as we head to the national anthem, and we will take a quick break? And we are back. Going back to the point I had before, I wanted to ask you, how important is a scrimmage like this for a team like Westfield, knowing that teams are watching your tape?
As you said, they go back and they look on it, so I think it's incredibly important. But I also think it's a way to obviously show off new formations and new plays they've maybe worked on in practice and see how successful they are. Also, just go out and get some reps in for Friday Night Lights.
And it's looking like Ben Davis will start with the football on their own 30-yard line. Thomas Goskowski, the quarterback in his senior year, committed to Miami of Ohio. Last year, He did have 24 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He's going to reunite with his former coach, Jason Simmons, who's the running back coach at Miami of Ohio. A lot to unravel with the situation at Ben Davis. What do you think the mindset is for them going into a scrimmage like this tonight?
In the case of Tommy G, I think it's to show off what he can do. Obviously, a lot to really still prove, but also a lot of high expectations after the season he just had. So I think it's just going to be we're here, let's get some reps in, and let's go win a state championship is the mindset.
Goskowski with his running back Price on his right hip. 4-2-5 formation for Westfield. Ben Davis from their own 30. Goskowski taking the snap. Goskowski is going to throw. He's going to fire deep right towards the 40-yard line. He's got a man. It's Mark Zachary. He's still on his feet on the right sideline. 10-5 touchdown. Thomas Goskowski to Mark Zachary on the first play of the scrimmage to give Ben Davis a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, he just beat the corner. He ran a quick fly route in the corner. I believe it was Jake Good, could not keep up.
Mark Zachary, 27 Division I offers from schools like Georgia, Michigan, USC. Anything you can think of, Mark Zachary has an offer from that school. And that's for a reason.
Yeah, as we just saw, he just cooked Westfield's arguably best corner on a fly route on the very first play.
And that means with the scrimmage rules, Ben Davis will go back out there from their own 30-yard line. 14 minutes left in this part of the scrimmage. 4-3-4 for Westfield. Goskowski extending the hands, taking the snap, handoff up the middle to Price. And he is going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage by Colton Vondersar.
Getting off the edge really fast, just like Micah Parsons, and was able to stop that run.
And Micah Parsons is the perfect comparison for Colton Vondersar, considering that he could play linebacker a little bit too. 3 receivers left for Goskowski, taking the snap. Goskowski, he's going to fire left. He's got a man at the 40-yard line over the middle. He's going to be just shy of the first down. That's going to be Tyler McLean. It's going to be 3rd down and 1 for Ben Davis from their own 39-yard line. 4-2-5 for Westfield. 2 receivers on each side. Goskowski taking the snap. Handoff up the middle. Price. Sam Bull is going to get to him, but Price will cock it right, and he will get the first down just shy of the 45-yard line.
That was all footwork by the running back. He was able to shift and catch the defensive end off balance and accelerate for the first down.
It's going to be 1st and 10 for Ben Davis from their own 43. Goskowski taking the snap. Goskowski in pressure, and he's going to take it up the middle, and he's going to take off running, but the play is whistled dead as he takes off. That will bring up 2nd down for Ben Davis from their own 48. Westfield showing 4-2-5. Price on Goskowski's left hip. 2 receivers on each side. Goskowski taking the snap, but there's movement up front. And we will see what the call is. It looks like either it's going to be offsides on Westfield.
Yeah, they were going to try to blitz. They were trying to heavy blitz there, but he was able to draw them offsides.
That will bring up 1st down for Ben Davis. (4-2-5) for Westfield. Price on Goskowski's left hip. Goskowski looking towards the sideline, extending his hands, taking the snap. Goskowski fires left at the 40 outside the numbers. He's got a man at around the 40-yard line. That's going to be Zane Sabrinsky, and he will be thrown around like a rag doll by Lennox Williams for the tackle.
I like the find. I know the play was blown up, but it was a quick curl route, and I think in general I think that play is going to work. But the DB was right there, so not the best decision.
3 receivers right for Ben Davis from their own 42-yard line. 2nd down and 5. Receiver motioning left. Goskowski taking this out. He's going to motion left on the jet sweep. And on that play, it was Zion Graham on the jet sweep. And he's going to get to the 38-yard line outside the numbers before being stopped. And that will bring up 3rd down and 1 for Ben Davis from the Westfield 39. .425 for the Shamrocks. Gostkowski taking the snap. Gostkowski fires right. He's got a man in the slot. He's still on his feet at the 30-yard line. And on that play was Malik Williams. And that is going to be a Ben Davis first down.
I really like that play because he found a weak spot in the defense, and that receiver was able to elevate his speed and get through and add for a couple more yards.
First down, Ben Davis from the Westfield 26. Gostkowski audibling right, extending his hands for the snap. Gostkowski taking the snap, firing right on the screen pass, intended for Zion Graham, it looked like, and he dropped the pass, which will bring up second down and 10.
Yeah, and I think, obviously, there's the receiver should have caught that, but Colton Baudersar, I noticed, came off the edge really quickly. I like how he's looking so far.
Yep, Colton Baudersar, a guy that is expected to step into a big role this season, a do-it-all type of guy, had 44 tackles last year. Second down for Ben Davis from the Westfield 26. Gostkowski taking the snap. Gostkowski pressure coming from Goodvine, and they're going to whistle the play dead. But William Goodvine, a Miami of Ohio commit, getting to another Miami of Ohio commit. How funny is that?
Yeah, I mean, he was able to bull rush right there, and he was able to get to him with that little inside turnaround move.
Remember, there will be quite a few substitutions as you cannot play 12 consecutive snaps. That'll bring up third down and 10 for Ben Davis from their Westfield 27. 3 up front for Westfield. Gostkowski taking the snap. He's going to hand it off the middle to Price. Price getting his way through towards the 15-yard line, and he'll be stopped by a swarm of Shamrocks. And did he get the first down? Yes, he did.
I love that play. The quarterback stood in the pocket, acted like he was going to throw a quick little draw. Was able to accelerate for the first down.
Elijah Price, a 900-yard rusher last season. He is arguably the heart and soul of the offense outside of Gostkowski. But that'll be first down and 10 for Ben Davis from the Westfield 18. 4-2-5 for Westfield. Gostkowski taking the snap. Gostkowski fired left towards the end zone, and it's going to be over the head of Zane Sabrinsky. Great coverage by Brock Stewart, and incomplete.
Yeah, I don't love the throw from Tommy G. Obviously forcing it into tight coverage. It was a quick route, but still, I wouldn't like that play. I'd prefer more of a RPO at this point in the field.
Brock Stewart, last year primarily a JV player, but here he is making big-time plays at the varsity level. 4 up front for Westfield. Receiver motion left. Gostkowski taking the snap, handoff up the middle to Price, and Price is going to be stopped out around the line of scrimmage by, wouldn't you know it, Colton Baudersar.
Absolutely. He is the man that is standing out on this defense right now. Quick move out inside. He acted like he was going to go off the edge. Was able to turn around, cut in, and make that stop.
And we see the substitutions. Some big names coming in, like Thomas Vandergriff at corner, Keegan Krupp at linebacker, and Alex Aaron Bolus at D-line. But we have third down and 7 for Ben Davis at the Westfield 15 on the left hash mark. Westfield with 4-2-5. Isaiah Rogers in at quarterback for Ben Davis. Rogers, he's not going to get the snap. He's got to jump on it as it's low. He's going to jump on it at the 25-yard line, and that will be a big loss for Ben Davis.
Yeah, if you're Tommy G, it's not the type of things you want to be showing in the scrimmage, but right now what I would like to see is maybe a slant up the middle, try to get some of those yards back.
And just like that, out with Isaiah Rogers, in with Thomas Gostkowski. Cameron Morrison in at running back. 4th down and 16 for Ben Davis from the 24-yard line. Gostkowski taking the snap. Gostkowski firing right towards the end zone. Mark Zachary double coverage over his head, incomplete.
Love the double coverage on the D1 commit. Obviously, you've seen how freakishly athletic he is on that fly route when he burned Jake Good. So, yeah, I like the move there by the defense coordinator.
And that is going to put an end to that drive, and it looks like we're going back to the Ben Davis 30 to do it all over again. and Mark Zachary. We did mention all the immense amount of Division I offers for Mark Zachary, and he's showing why he's worthy of that tonight. As Ben Davis at their own 30-yard line. Goskowski in at quarterback. 4-3-4 for Westfield. Running back on his right hip. Goskowski taking the snap, pitching it right to Price. Price outside the numbers at the 35, and he's going to be stopped just shy of the 40 by a sea of green, just shy of the first down marker.
I really like the pitch move right there, but I also like the blocking. They were able to get him up for a couple extra yards there at the end.
And that will bring up 2nd down and 4 for Ben Davis from their own 36-yard line. 3 receivers left for Goskowski. Running back on his right hip. 4-2-5 for Westfield. Goskowski clapping his hands for the snap. Goskowski under pressure, fires right on the screen pass to Price. Price at the 35, the 40, he's got the first down and more, and he's going to be thrown out of bounds in Westfield territory, just shy of the 40-yard line by Deacon King, but a flag is down.
Likely going to be a late hit, but I absolutely love that screen pass right there. He just threw it off on the side, and he was able to elevate for so many extra yards after that.
Deacon King, although his first full-time varsity year, he's got quite the amount of D1 offers. He had a visit with Purdue, and he has an offer from Central Michigan. Second, it's going to bring up 1st down and 10 for Ben Davis. And the penalty will be a hold on Ben Davis. So not the late hit you thought it would be. That will make it 1st down and 10 for Ben Davis at their own 49-yard line. 4-2-5 for Westfield. Goskowski taking the snap. Goskowski firing left. Outside the numbers at the 40. He's got a man. He's at the 35. He's going to be knocked out of bounds by Cato June, just shy of the 30-yard line. That was Anthony Stapleton on the catch for Ben Davis.
Yeah, obviously able to find him in a weak coverage. And he was able to, that's the thing that's impressed me about Ben Davis' quarterback play so far.
And that will bring it 1st down and 10 for Ben Davis with 3 minutes left at the Westfield 35. Isaiah Rogers in at quarterback taking the snap. Handoff up the middle to Price. Price takes it to the left hash mark, and he'll be stopped just shy of the 25-yard line by Drew Wolf.
One of WH's Sports Live's own right there.
Drew Wolf. Yep, 2nd down for Ben Davis and 6 at the 27-yard line. Isaiah Rogers still in the ball game. 4-2-5 for Westfield. Rogers taking the snap. Rogers in the pocket, firing over the middle. He's got a man in the end zone. It's going to be over his head and incomplete, intended for Nate Williams, the wide receiver. And that pass over his head and incomplete, but a flag is down.
I absolutely love that pass, though. I think it was in some form of a post, but if he had just timed it a little better, that would have been a touchdown right there.
Now, if that was Goskowski making that throw, was that a touchdown?
I believe it would be.
And we are still awaiting the call. And it's going to be on Ben Davis. And we are going to back it up about 5 yards, it looks like. Yep, ineligible receiver downfield. With 1:40 left, the clock ticking. It's going to be 2nd down and long for Ben Davis from their own 35-yard line. Rogers taking the snap, firing outside the numbers right towards the 25, and he is going to make the catch, and just shy of the 1st down marker will be stopped. That was Michael Searcy on the catch. Cato June and Thomas Vandergriff teaming up on the tackle.
Yeah, Ben Davis keeps digging themselves in some holes with some penalties, but I like how they're finding their way back with quick out routes that are getting them massive yardage.
3rd down and 2 for Ben Davis. Rogers taking the snap. He's going to pitch it left to Graham. Graham with the cutback move. He's going to take it right outside the numbers, and a flag is down, but he's going to be stopped for the 1st down at around the 15-yard line. A flag is down, though. And Ben Davis, the penalties, biting them from behind once again.
Yeah, the second that flag was thrown, I knew that it was likely going to be on the offensive line just because of how there was like 3 guys on him and he was able to make that cut move. It just seemed too good to be true.
And it will be on Ben Davis. We are awaiting the call still. And it'll be holding. And Thomas Gostkowski will leave the game again for Isaiah Rogers. That will make it 3rd down for Ben Davis. Rogers taking the snap. Rogers firing left. He's got a man over the head at the 25-yard line left. That pass was intended for, it looked like Elijah Hearns, but Landon Porter Jr. on the pass breakup as time expires.
Yeah, it's a good way to end it for Westfield. Obviously, letting up that massive touchdown at the start was obviously not the way they wanted it to look, but I think that the way they were able to close at the end, but I think the penalties definitely helped to their advantage, but I think it was a good way to close out.
And now the moment a lot of you have waited for, the Westfield offense with new quarterback Jackson Gilbert. Well, not new, but the new starting quarterback. What do you expect from Gilbert this year?
I expect a lot of pocket presence. That's what I believe he's good at. And he's different from Melvin in the sense that I believe Melvin's maybe more of a more athletic in the sense of a better scrambler. But I expect a lot of good pocket throws and just a lot of situational awareness there as well.
1st down and 10 for Westfield. Ben Davis up 6-0 from their own 30-yard line. 3 receivers left. For Westfield, Gilbert taking the snap, pitching it right to Garnett. Garnett outside the numbers at the 30-yard line. He's going to be stopped just behind the line of scrimmage. And it looked like that was Nylon Brown on the stop for Ben Davis, which will bring up 2nd down and 11 for Westfield from their own 29-yard line on the right hash. 4-3-4 for Ben Davis. Gilbert taking the snap, handoff up the middle to Kendall Garnett, and Garnett is going to get to about the line of scrimmage, a gain of 1 before being stopped by a sea of white.
Yeah, against the massive line of Ben Davis defensive ends, I don't think that the run game will be as strong tonight.
And that will bring up 3rd down and about 9 for Westfield from their own 31-yard line. 3 receivers left, 4-2-5 for Ben Davis. Gilbert extending his hands for the snap, takes it, fires left on the screen pass for Garnett, and it's going to be bobbled out of his hands and incomplete. Mark Zachary was about to come in for a big hit.
Yeah, I think Kendall Garnett may be lucky that he didn't reel that one in.
And that is going to bring up 4th down and 10 for Westfield from their own 31-yard line. And if you're wondering when special teams will be incorporated into this, there will be a special teams period after every block of games. 3 receivers left for Westfield. Garnett on Gilbert's right hip. Gilbert taking the snap. Gilbert in the pocket, fires deep over the middle. Intended for Parker Knott and incomplete. The pass was tipped, and it was tipped by Elijah Hearns.
Ben Davis is showing a lot of defensive potential right now, and they're controlling this game.
And that means that Westfield, with 13 minutes left in the period, are going to take back over at their own 30-yard line on the left hash. (4-3-4) for Ben Davis. Gilbert taking the snap. Hands off to Garnett left. Garnett outside the numbers, just shy of the 35-yard line. He's going to be stopped by Nylon Brown, which will bring up 2nd down and about 5 for Westfield at their own 35-yard line.
I like the little outside zone play there. I think that was a good move. Picked up a little extra yards.
4 up front for Ben Davis. Gilbert taking the snap, rolling right. Outside the numbers at the 40, he's got a man. It's Bo Braun. Braun still on his feet on the right sideline for the 1st down. He's going to get the 1st down. He's going to be stopped just shy of the 45-yard line on the right sideline, out of bounds. The tackle made by Alvin Contreras, the safety.
I really like that move from Gilbert. He was able to roll out of the pocket and make the throw off 1 foot.
Yeah, showing off the mobility.
Yeah. showing off something I kind of criticized him for, and he's proving me wrong.
First
right now.
down 10 for Westfield from the Ben Davis 46. Gilbert taking the snap, handoff to Garnett up the middle, and Garnett will plunge his way through a sea of white, and he's going to get a gain of about 3, which will bring up second down, and it's looking like 7 for Westfield. 2 receivers left for Westfield. Gilbert taking the snap, play action. He's going to dance in the pocket, and he fires right out of bounds as he had no one to find on that. But a flag is down, and we will see what the call is.
Yeah, just smart move to get it out. I mean, obviously that would have been blown up by the defense.
And it's going to be an ineligible man downfield for Westfield, it looks like. And let's look at the O-line formation for Westfield. Quite interesting. Ryan Barker at left tackle, back from injury, as he has an offer from Dayton. Avery Huggins, the right tackle. That'll bring up second down for Westfield from the Ben Davis 48, second down and 12 to go. 4-3-4 for Ben Davis. Gilbert extending his hands for the snap. Hands off, left to Garnett. Garnett still on his feet as he's going to be stopped by a big bunch of Ben Davis players, and that's going to be Tariq Alzigi, the linebacker, on the stop for the loss, and that will bring up third down for Westfield and 15 to go at the 49-yard line.
The Giants' defense is just elite, and I think that Westfield cannot have penalties like that happen again because it's just going to bite them in the back.
2 receivers right for Westfield. Gilbert taking the snap, pitching, faking the pitch right to Garnett, firing deep over the middle. He's got Aaron Bowles at the 20, the 15, 10-5, left sideline, still on his feet, and he will be stopped just shy of the goal line. Gabe Arabolas, big time play to get Westfield inside the 5-yard line in striking distance.
Jackson Gilbert rolling out of the pocket has been lethal already, man, and finding probably the best wide receiver on the field, Gabe Arabolas, is just, it's an amazing connection. I hope to see more of it tonight.
First and goal for Westfield at the 5-yard line. Gilbert faking the snap, read option left, or faking the handoff to Garnett, read option left, and they're going to whistle the play dead. Tackle made by Andrew Evans for Ben Davis with 9:10 left on the clock.
I really like the RPO call there, but I think that Ben Davis just read it really well.
Second down and goal from the 5-yard line. Gilbert extending the hands for the snap, pitching left to Garnett outside the numbers, and Garnett will be stopped right behind the line of scrimmage. And look at the party again. Andrew Evans once again on the stop for Ben Davis, picking up on the run play again.
Yeah, Westfield's these designed runs just aren't really working tonight. I think the passing attack so far has, and I'd just like to see more of it.
It's going to be third down and goal for Westfield as we have quite a few substitutions. New quarterback, Aiden Grabowski in. Aiden Grabowski, the sophomore, who's expected to get a lot of JV reps, is in. And at running back is Micah Webster, the former tight end, brother of Maximus Webster. Ball at the 7-yard line. Grabowski taking the snap, firing right as he's going to fire on the right sideline out of bounds. It looked like he wanted Will Irwin, but the pressure was too strong, and that will bring up fourth down and goal as Jackson Gilbert will come back out there along with the rest of the Westfield starters for fourth down and 7.
Yeah, just the blitz got there, and he didn't have the time. He would have just gotten swallowed up, so that's why he had to just toss it up.
Fourth down and goal for Westfield, looking to get points on the board finally as they are down 6-0 with 7:24 left to go in this period at their own at the 7-yard line. Gilbert taking a snap. He's going to jet sweep to Aaron Bullis, and Aaron Bullis tried to pitch it left, and the ball is out. It's a fight for the football. He was looking to get it to Parker Knott, but The play is going to be dead way back at the 30, but Parker not. It looks like he jumped on it. What a disaster for Westfield. They're trying to do a little Philly, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it was too hardly taught, or he threw it, tossed it too hard, or just had butterfingers there.
Do you think the mindset is why not pull out some trickery in a scrimmage game?
I mean, why not? Really? I mean, I think it's just trying to throw him off a little bit.
That means Westfield will take over once again at the 30-yard line, looking to put points on the board. Gilbert extending his hands for the snap, rolling right in the pocket, fires deep right sideline at the 40. He's got Bo Braun, but it's over his head, just barely out of reach and incomplete into the ground. Coverage by Yassine Falk, but Bo Braun had him beat.
Yeah, a quick little fly route, and I think he just timed it a little bit better. I think that could have gone for a ton more yards.
Bo Braun set up for a much bigger role this season, and it's one that we've expected for a long time, and so far, looking good as he beat out the corner Falk on that. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for Westfield at their own 30. Gilbert taking the snap, dancing in the pocket, firing right towards Webster. Webster still on his feet on the right hash mark. He's going to be stopped just behind the line of scrimmage. And that was Jaquise Rondo on the stop, and that will bring up 3rd down and 12 for Westfield at their own 28.
Obviously, there's not much you could do there, and I really like the move just to get it out. And obviously, the play went for no gain, but just get in and out and not taking the sack, that was big right there.
3rd down and 12 for Westfield. Webster on Gilbert's right hip. Gilbert extending the hands for the snap. Play action. Gilbert rolling right, sheds off a tackler, and they're going to whistle the play dead as he threw on the right sideline outside the numbers at the 35-yard line for Max Nosler making the catch. But the play was unfortunately whistled dead, and now we have the backups coming back in. Aiden Grabowski in at quarterback for 4th down and 12, it looks like, with 3 receivers left for Westfield. Ben Davis showing blitz. High snap to Grabowski, taking the snap, and he's going to hand it off to Webster, and he will be stopped immediately way behind the line of scrimmage by a sea of white. And that means we are going to start over at the 30-yard line for Westfield.
The defensive line for Ben Davis is having their way, that's for sure.
Yeah, picking up on run plays, as we've seen, especially on the RPO and play action, they've been picking up on that perfectly. 1st down and 10 for Westfield with 3:55 left in the scrimmage from their own 30. Grabowski taking the snap, handoff up the middle to Webster, and Webster's going to get just shy of the 35-yard line, trucking his way through defenders before being stopped for a gain of 4. And that will bring up 2nd down and 6 for Westfield. Reese Middleton in at tight end for Westfield. 4 up front for Ben Davis. Gilbert extending Grabowski extending his hands for the snap. Handoff left. He's got Micah Webster, and Micah Webster once again stopped at the line of scrimmage on the left hash mark. And it looked like Nylon Brown was in on the stop once again for Ben Davis.
I don't know if the offensive line unit is just a lot weaker, but Ben Davis is just speed, the aggression, the power. It's just all there tonight. They're reading everything, the RPOs, the play actions, like you said, the outside quarterback design runs, everything.
Nylon Brown committed to Kent State. Grabowski bobbling the snap as he takes it. He's hit as he throws, as he was throwing left, looking for Reese Middleton. But he was hit as he threw the football. And with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, that will bring up 4th down for Westfield from their own 32-yard line. Looks like we have Max Nosler in at running back. We saw it quite a bit in the green-gold game. Ben Davis showing blitz. Grabowski taking the snap. Grabowski rolling left, fires over the middle. He's got Zeke Richardson. He's going to drop it on the left hash mark, but the flag is down. I will say, great coverage, though. I got to give credit where credit is due to Austin Hartwell.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben Davis, just the whole defense is just an absolute unit tonight. I think it's given Westfield problems.
And we await the call. And it looks like Westfield will continue on with their drive as it's going to be on Ben Davis. It's going to be holding on Ben Davis. A first down for Westfield at their own 42-yard line. Ben Davis showing blitz. Grabowski taking the snap. Grabowski rolling right. Pressure coming, and he's going to be sacked as they're going to whistle the play dead before any contact is given. That was Carlos Tells on the stop for Ben Davis. And under a minute, the clock is ticking with second down and 10 for Westfield at their own 42-yard line. 6 up front for Ben Davis. 2 receivers left. Grabowski taking the snap. High snap. He's going to hand it off up the middle to the big guy, Max Nosler, and Nosler is going to be stuck up by a sea of white, and he is going to get just a gain of 1 if he's lucky with the forward progress, which will bring up third down, and maybe they can sneak in one more play with 30 seconds left.
Yeah, Ben Davis, like I've said earlier, it's just for having their way with this offense tonight. They're making them, they look on a whole nother level. I don't know if it wasn't anticipated or what, but surprised me.
Grabowski taking the snap from his own 39-yard line. Pressure coming, dancing in the pocket, rolling left, and they're going to whistle the play dead, but Grabowski looked like he had room to run after the contact. And that is going to be the end of the Westfield Ben Davis block, it looks like. But the Westfield defense is coming back out there. And at 7:32, it said period 1 would end. It's 7:35, so that might be it for Westfield until the third event tonight, block 3, which would be Westfield and Carmel. And as we look over at the soccer field left, Carmel in their yellow uniforms out tonight. How do you feel about the all-yellow uniforms, Drew?
Not a fan, I gotta be honest. A little too yellow for me.
Well, it's Carmel.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Yeah.
And we will have 8 total snaps on special teams at the end of period 1. Yeah, Carmel, all yellow uniforms. They're looking to get revenge on Westfield tonight, but that is not the best way. Maybe they're trying to hurt their eyes?
Yeah, not a fan of those uniforms. But like you said, I think that tonight, they definitely have a chip on their shoulder, that's for sure.
If after a 28-9 loss where Kendall Garnett ran all over them in the sectional with 172 total rushing yards. The punt is off for Ben Davis. They have a punter out there, Nate Williams. Andrew Liskey is going to get it on the right hash mark at around the 36-yard line. And for Ben Davis, you would normally expect Ben Rudolph in there at kicker and punter. And there he is, Ben Rudolph, the kicker and punter for Ben Davis. And Gabe Aaron Bolus back deep to receive for Westfield.
Freakish speed. I like the move to put him a kicker or punt returner.
Rudolph punting from his own 25-yard line. Aaron Bolus back deep at the 30. The snap is off, and Rudolph is going to drop the snap, but he will just barely get it away before the hit comes. And that one's going to be shanked. I wouldn't say shanked, but it's going to be on the right out of bounds line at around the 35-yard line. And now comes Westfield's punting unit, Brody Bame. And Brody Bame, we do have to congratulate him, as Bame, it was announced last week that he would be playing in the U.S. Army Bowl at Jerry World, AT&T Stadium. We gotta give him a hand. Brody Bame has been incredible with his time as Westfield's kicker and punter. He's got offers from Duke, Ball State, Iowa State, and he deserves it.
Yeah, I've seen on his snap. He's just been traveling the country, really going to all these stadiums, and he absolutely deserves it.
And Brody Bame, I try not to speak personally, but I do have to say Brody Bame, an incredible guy, a super nice guy, and a great guy to have in the locker room.
Yeah, he just seems like a really positive influence to this team and a really key player, really, for special teams.
And Brody Bame on to punt in this punting drill. After this, we will have Ben Davis and Carmel. Back deep to receive for Ben Davis is Mark Zachary, the guy who had a touchdown earlier, and also back deep to receive is Zane Sabrinsky, who has a couple of catches on the day. Bame punting from his own 25-yard line. Sabrinsky back deep to receive with Zachary. Bame gets the punt off. Zachary's going to get it on the left hash at the 30-yard line. He's going to signal for a fair catch as Andrew Liskey and Jake Good were right on that.
I know this is obviously a scrimmage, and I don't know if they'll put him at punt returner in the regular season, but I would be hesitant to do that just because of injuries. Stuff's a key player, and I wouldn't want him taking extra hits.
And we have a new punter out there for Westfield, and it looks like it's Casey Graybill. I did talk to him today, the middle linebacker, Casey Graybill. I talked to him today. I said, you think you're going to get any reps at punter? And he said, maybe kickoff. But here he is in the scrimmage playing punter. Graybill has to pick up the snap off the ground, just barely gets it off. And that one is going to get to midfield at the 50-yard line as Jackson Floyd will recover for Westfield at their own 45-yard line. Not the best punt from Graybill, but he made the best out of a pretty bad situation there.
Yeah, I was surprised he still got it off, if I'm being completely honest, and he booted it decently high. I mean, it didn't go far, but just get it off was nice, and he take a block.
And it looks like we will have the punting unit back on for Ben Davis. Like we said earlier, 8 total special team snaps, and now I'm not keeping track, but surely we only have a couple left until we get to Ben Davis and Carmel. It's going to be Ben Rudolph in at punter for Ben Davis. Back deep to receive at the 10-yard line is going to be Andrew Liskey, and it looks like Kendall Garnett. And they're going to do the kickoff. So we saw some punting action, and now we're going to get into some kickoff action.
Can't wait.
Well, if you're a fan of special teams like I am, you're having a blast with these 8 snaps.
Absolutely.
Ben Rudolph on to kick off for Ben Davis at the 40-yard line. Ben Davis with their chant, started by Andrew Evans, the linebacker. Rudolph will kick this one off. Kicks it off right at the 10-yard line, and that is going to be picked up and dropped by Garnett and recovered by Ben Davis at the 15-yard line. And it looks like that was Austin Hartwell on the recovery for Ben Davis. Not the best start to the kickoff drill for Westfield.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but that was one of Kendall Garnett's problems last year when he got reps, was fumbling.
Absolutely. We talked about that many a time. But Kendall Garnett expected to have a big workload this year. He was a 900-yard rusher last year. Do you think he could break the 1,000 mark?
I absolutely do. Maybe if not this year, I bet he has a shot his senior year.
I think a lot of it depends on who's playing at quarterback. I think if Jackson Gilbert is in there, maybe we do see a more run-heavy attack. And Brody Bame on the kickoff for Westfield. And there is Carmel at the gate, awaiting their time to come on the field to take on Ben Davis. A beautiful sunny night here in Westfield, Indiana from Riverview Health Stadium as the sun comes down on what's been a great day for football.
Absolutely. Couldn't ask for a better way to start off the season.
And we have many excited fans here to get a first glimpse of the Westfield team going into their first home opener next week against New Palestine. That is going to be a very exciting game as Westfield finally back at home, and it's going to be oh so sweet.
Absolutely. Riverview Health Stadium in the fall doesn't get much better.
And you know, Friday night, Riverview Health Stadium, it is a party.
Absolutely. The whole community comes out, or I should say most of it. Coach Gilbert's done a great job involving the community with this sport.
There's only one place to be on Friday night, and it is here, watching the live stream or coming to the game. Brody Bame on the kickoff for Westfield. Back deep to receive for Ben Davis is Nate Williams. Williams gets on the right hash at the 10-yard line, still on his feet, cocks left, and he's going to be stopped just shy of the 15-yard line by Lennox Williams, and Lennox Williams hitting his celebration, but a flag is down.
Almost hit a celebration. He was thinking about it, then he saw that flag.
He was thinking about doing a little suit and tie celebration. And Nate Williams, it looks like he's kind of limping off the field. That is something you definitely hate to see, especially in a preseason scrimmage. So definitely hoping that Williams is all right. Now Ben Rudolph will be back out there for Ben Davis. This side on the opposite side of the field, this time on the opposite side of the field. And we're going to get some field goal attempts. Very long field goals, by the way. Middle of the field, it looks like it's going to be a 55-yard attempt for Ben Rudolph, showing off the range. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and it is good. Ben Rudolph showing off the leg.
Absolutely. He just pelted that ball. I'm kind of surprised he made that, to be honest. I didn't think he went to.
Yeah, look at that. Celebrating with his teammates. You see him dapping up Nylon Brown. And what a kick, 55 yards. Kicking from the 45, but you add the extra 10 yards because of the end zone. And I have to say, Ben Rudolph, I am very impressed with the range.
Absolutely. We'll see if Bain can match him here.
Yep, Jackson Gilbert, his longtime holder, even with Gilbert being the starting quarterback, nothing changes with that. How do you feel about that?
It doesn't sit right with me, and I'll tell you why. I'm used to just like a backup quarterback, so maybe Aiden Grabowski or Gavin McCall taking the snap.
And would you look at that? A 60-yarder for Brody Bame, it looks like, or close to a 60-yarder, 58-yarder. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up. Bame, and did he get it through? No, he did not. Just a little bit short and a little bit left.
I thought that looked good for a second. I'm kind of surprised, man.
It's kind of hard to tell from up here, and Westfield will leave the field, and now it's time for Ben Davis and Carmel for block 2 of this scrimmage. A triple header here from Riverview Health Stadium, and we're going to take a quick break. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network.
to save my soul. Went up downtown. I went up downtown. Went up downtown. Pop said, save my soul. 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 Save my soul. Pop said, save my soul. Oh, Pop said, save my soul. 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 Oh, Pop said, save my soul. 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 Oh, Pop said, save my soul. Pop said, save my soul. Save my soul. Pop said, save my soul. Pop said, save my soul. Pop said, save my soul. Went up downtown. I went up downtown. Went up downtown. I was walking out one evening.
And we are back. Ben Davis and Carmel. Ben Davis getting the ball first from their own 30-yard line as Sweet Caroline plays on a beautiful Westfield night. Carmel in the white. Carmel with three up front, two linebackers. Goskowski for Ben Davis, extending his hands for the snap. Faking the draw, handoff Price. Price cocks it right. He's at the 40-yard line, still on his feet, trucking his way through defenders, and he will get the first down outside the numbers at the 45-yard line.
Great little cut move, inside out, off the outside, got the first down.
That will bring up first down and 10 for Ben Davis at their own 44-yard line. Three receivers left. Carmel showing 3-4-3. Goskowski with Price on his left hip, extending the hands, firing left for Zachary, over his head, outside the numbers, incomplete. And that will bring up second down and 10 for Ben Davis.
Let's overthrow him a little bit. We can get up there.
We've seen that quite a bit. We saw Isaiah Rogers overthrowing Hartwell for a touchdown. And now Goskowski overthrowing his main man, Zachary. 3 up front for Carmel. Price motioning to Goskowski's right hip from their own 44. Goskowski taking the snap. Handoff up the middle to Price. Price cocks it right, trucks his way towards the 50, and he'll be stopped just shy of the first down marker. And for Carmel on the stop, that was John Getchell, the outside linebacker, which will bring up 3rd down and short for Ben Davis at the 50-yard line. Goskowski with Price on his left hip, 4 up front for Carmel, showing blitz. Goskowski claps his hands for the snap. Goskowski firing left towards the 40, and the pass was intended outside the numbers for Mark Zachary left, but it will be broken up and incomplete, as on the breakup, that was J.J. Klein. Sorry, Jabril Randolph on the breakup.
He knows his duty right there to cover number 4, man. He read that perfectly.
4th down and 3 for Ben Davis from the 50-yard line. 3 receivers left. Goskowski with Price on his left hip. Goskowski taking the snap. Goskowski firing over the middle. He's got a man for the first down in crowded coverage. It looks like that was Tyler McClain on the catch on the left hash mark. And that is going to move the chains for Ben Davis at the Carmel 45-yard line.
I absolutely love how Tommy G threw that into tight coverage and was still so accurate.
1st down and 10 for Ben Davis. And once again, a botched snap in the dirt. Goskowski jumps on it after 50, and that will whistle the play dead. And that will bring up 2nd down. And it looks like we're going to still have it be 2nd down and 10 for Ben Davis from the Carmel 45. 3 receivers right. Price on Goskowski's left hip. Goskowski taking the snap. Dancing in the pocket, firing over the middle. He's got a man on the left hash mark for the first down. That was Malik Williams. And he is going to be stopped at around the 33-yard line for the first down for Ben Davis. And we have some substitutions being made by both teams. With Zion Graham in at running back for Ben Davis. 4 up front for Carmel, showing blitz. Goskowski faking the pitch right. Takes off left on the read option at the 30. Gets a stiff arm and will be stopped just shy of the 25-yard line on the left sideline, out of bounds. And that was Camden Trent on the tackle, or pushing Goskowski out of bounds.
Yeah, I think it's good that he went and the quarterback design run was motioned to the left, because they had a DB who came off the edge who read it completely. He would have got blown up.
And that will bring up 2nd down and 11 for Ben Davis at the 29-yard line, or 2nd down and 6. Receiver motioning left on the jet sweep. Fakes the jet sweep. Handoff left, and that is going to be Graham. And he cocked it left and just got stopped right behind the 25-yard line. But there is an injured giant on the field, which is definitely, it's on the O-line, and that is definitely something you do not like to see at all. But it looks like he is okay. He's back on his feet, which is a great thing to see. 3rd down and 6 for Ben Davis from the Carmel 34. Carmel showing blitz. Goskowski taking the snap. Goskowski fires left towards the end zone. Overthrows his man just as his man was going to be Michael Searcy. Threw it way over his head because Michael Searcy got tripped up, and that will bring up 4th down and 6 for Ben Davis.
I generally think had he not got tripped up, that would have been a touchdown. That looked accurate from where he was going.
And we've seen that, maybe not lack of communication, but just we've seen the lack of maybe not even awareness, but we've seen overthrows and trip-ups from Ben Davis all day. But that'll bring up 4th down and 6 for Ben Davis at the Carmel 34. Carmel with 3 up front. Williams motioning left on the jet sweep. Hands off right. He's got a man, and he's going to be stopped just shy of the 20-yard line. That was Cameron Morrison for Ben Davis. And did he get the first down? This is the question. No, he did not. So Ben Davis will go back to the 30-yard line. Ben Davis taking over at their own 30-yard line. Still no score. Looking to put points on the board with 8:25 left in this period. First down and 10 from their own 30 for Ben Davis. Goskowski extending his hands for the snap. Goskowski in the pocket, fires right outside the numbers. He's got a man. It's Scabrini, and he's going to be stopped just shy of the 35-yard line by Christian Peterson, the IU commit.
I'd expect to hear his name a lot tonight, that's for sure.
Christian Peterson with 3 interceptions last year, an IU commit, a guy who's expected to play a huge role once again on this Carmel team. Second down and 7 for Ben Davis from their own 33-yard line. 3 up front for Ben Davis. 3 receivers left. Goskowski taking the snap. Goskowski firing left. He's got a man. It's Williams at the 35-yard line outside the numbers, and he is going to be hit hard at the 35-yard line by Jake Merez Gomez for Carmel, which will bring up third down and 5.
Carmel defense hasn't looked bad tonight.
They have not. And this will bring up third down and 4 for Ben Davis at their own 35-yard line. 3 receivers left, 3 up front for Carmel. Goskowski taking the snap. Fakes the handoff to Price right, and he had Williams on a screen pass right, but he drops it at the 30, incomplete, and that will bring up 4th down and 4 to go for Ben Davis.
Penalties and the drop passes and all the miscommunications really is what's kept them, I feel, from taking over every game.
It's definitely been quite a mishap for Carmel and for Ben Davis, I should say. 4th down and 4 for Ben Davis at their own 35-yard line. Goskowski taking the snap. Goskowski dancing in the pocket, pressure coming, avoids the pressure, rolls left at the 35, takes off, and he's going to be stopped just shy on the left sideline of the 40-yard line. And that will bring up Ben Davis going back to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, really, this Carmel defense has looked really solid this year. Or I should say this scrimmage.
So first down and 10 for Ben Davis at the 30-yard line. 5 minutes and 40 seconds left. 3 receivers right. 3 up front for Carmel. Goskowski taking the snap, handoff up the middle to Price. Price plowing his way through defenders at the right hash mark. He's going to get the first down at the 40-yard line before being stopped. And Garrett once again on the tackle, number 37.
I love the shiftiness in the footwork right there. That's what helped him get those extra yards.
Yeah, second down and 1. It's going to be second down and very short for Ben Davis at their own 39-yard line. Goskowski with Price on his right hip. Goskowski looking to his left, extending the hands, taking the snap. Fakes the give, rolls right. He's got a man outside the numbers at the 40-yard line, and that was Nate Williams. Nate Williams will get just to about the 50-yard line before being stopped, and that will be a first down for Ben Davis. First down and 10 for Ben Davis. As the sun comes down on this beautiful Westfield night, 3 receivers left for Ben Davis. Goskowski audibling at the 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Goskowski taking the snap, jet sweep right, and that is going to be Nate Williams. And Nate Williams cocking it right at the 50-yard line. He'll be stopped out of bounds for a gain of about 5. Nate Williams once again getting involved with the offense with 4 minutes left in this period, with Isaiah Rogers in at quarterback for Ben Davis.
Yeah, took Tommy G out. I think it's just good experience because Carmel's defense has been tough tonight, man. This is valuable experience for Isaiah Rogers.
Rogers extending the hands, taking the snap, handoff up the middle for a gain of about 5. And it looked like for Ben Davis, that was Isaac White at running back, which will bring up 3rd down and 1 for Ben Davis as we head into Carmel territory at the 45-yard line. Rogers will stay on the field. Still no score in this ball game. Ben Davis looking to put the first points on the board for this section. Rogers taking the snap, low snap, handoff up the middle on the right hash mark, and that was Cameron Morrison, and he is going to, did he get the first down? It looked like it was a questionable call, and it looks like he will move the chains for Ben Davis on a 1-yard gain. 3 receivers left for Ben Davis. First down, 10 from the 45-yard line. Rogers taking the snap, firing left in the shotgun, and that's going to be dropped outside the numbers left at the 40-yard line. That was intended for Zane Skabinski, but dropped and incomplete, which will bring up 2nd down and 10 for Ben Davis at the Carmel 45-yard line. Three receivers left. Rogers taking the snap. Handoff up the middle. It's going to be Morrison again as he's going to get to about the 40-yard line before being stopped. And it looked like on the stop for Carmel, and it may have been Sam Berini, but once again, I must mention that the roster sheet we have for Carmel is not quite accurate. So you're kind of left in the dark on that, but it is still pretty accurate. 3rd down and 7. Rogers taking the snap, firing left at the left hash mark. He's got a man at the 30-yard line, and that is a big-time reception for Ben Davis, and that was Connor Alderman. Nick Kelly on the tackle for Carmel, and that will move the chains for Ben Davis.
Starting to move down into Carmel territory.
At the Carmel 31-yard line, 3 receivers right, 3 up front for Carmel. Rogers taking the snap. Rogers dancing in the pocket, fires right for the end zone, and that is going to be almost picked off as he was firing right for his receiver, Yassine Falk. But the pass was broken up, and that is going to bring up 2nd down.
I kind of was looking for a head tap there, I got to be honest. I thought that may have maybe occurring, so props to Carmel for the good coverage.
Yeah, Falk, he almost made a big-time play. He about got a moss, and that Carmel DB was about to be on You Got Mossed, a popular Twitter page. 30 seconds left. 2nd down and 10 for Ben Davis at the Carmel 31-yard line. 3 receivers right. Rogers taking the low snap. Rogers fires over the middle. He's got a man at the 10-yard line, left hash mark. That was Nate Williams again, but the ball came out. And are they going to whistle the play dead? They are going to whistle the play dead, so Ben Davis in hurry-up mode with 5 seconds left. Will they be able to get a playoff? Likely not. At the 10-yard line, 3 receivers right, and the play clock is down to 0, but they're going to snap it anyway. Rogers firing right. He's got a man at the 5-yard line, right hash mark, and that was Stapleton, sorry. And that is going to end the period, which means Carmel's offense is going to come on the field. Still no score.
I'm really impressed, I have to tell you, with Carmel's defense. I'd heard from some people on Instagram that they were supposedly going to be a legit defensive team. Offensively, don't really know what to expect. Likely with how Ben Davis will kind of had their way with Westfield, that's what I'm going to expect.
and one of the big enforcers for Carmel. He hasn't had his name called a lot tonight, but he is still a big enforcer for Carmel. Artemis Bryant, the Army commit at defensive end. And although we haven't heard much from him tonight, you know that he is going to be a big-time enforcer on the D-line.
Absolutely. And I'd expect if we go back to, say, if we were to have another period, I believe you'd hear his name a lot more.
First down and 10 for Carmel. Anthony Colner in at quarterback. Ben Davis with 4 up front. Colner not yet to take a varsity snap. Colner taking the snap, handoff up to middle, and he's going to truck his way to the 35-yard line before being stopped. The running back for Carmel, that was Greg Kepler. And we have a change at running back for Carmel again. Second down and 5 for Carmel at their own 35-yard line. Ben Davis showing blitz. Colner taking the snap. Handoff up the middle. His running back will get to the 42-yard line. And that was Colin Johnson, the running back, which brings up third down and short for Carmel.
Carmel, man, they're looking fine to me.
I will say, they are running the ball very well so far. We expect to see a lot of that with Colner at quarterback. First down and 10 for Carmel at their own 42. Colner taking the snap. Hand off to Johnson. Johnson cocks it right, and he's going to be stopped right behind the line of scrimmage by a sea of white, and that includes Isaiah White for Ben Davis.
That's what I've been expecting to see. Hadn't seen it until now, but I'd expect to see a lot more of that bull rush, and I don't think that Carmel's going to have much more running game left.
Second down and 11 for Carmel, from their own 40-yard line. Colner with his running back Johnson on his left hip, puts the right foot down, takes the snap, jet sweep, and that was Iola Tulu, who got stopped way behind the line of scrimmage. And on the stop for Ben Davis, that was Nahimi Dau, which will bring up third down and even longer for Carmel now. 3rd and 13 from their own 38-yard line on the left hash.
I'd like to see some pressure here.
Colner taking the snap. Colner in the pocket. He's going to fire right over the middle, over the receiver's head to Lou, and incomplete, as Tulu had a hand on it, but it was over his head and incomplete, which will bring up 4th down and 13 for Carmel on their own 38-yard line.
Yeah, obviously this first varsity snaps, realistically, and attention from Florida State already. So I think this guy has a lot of, the floor is very high, or the ceiling is very high. But Ben Davis, the defensive line just looks solid.
Colner taking the snap. Colner firing right sideline at the 40. It's way over his receiver's head and incomplete, not even close, into no man's land. Pass intended for Tucker and incomplete, which will send Carmel back to the 30-yard line, 1st and 10 with 11:50 left in this period. Still no score by either team.
The defensive battle, really. Both defenses have really shown a lot tonight, and I'd be interested to see how Carmel's defense can disrupt Westfield's offense tonight, but obviously we're not there yet.
2 receivers left for Carmel. Tucker motioning right. Colner taking the snap, high snap, handoff up the middle to his running back, and he's going to get to about the line of scrimmage. That was Craig Kepler yet again. But the one thing I am confused about at running back, we have not seen Carmel's main back tonight, Eljad Alfied, who was a 900-yard rusher with 12 touchdowns last year. We have not seen him tonight. it second down and 10 for Carmel at their own 30. Colner taking the snap, firing right for Tucker at the right hash mark. The ball came out as he dropped it, but they're going to call the play dead. They're going to say he dropped it. But Nylon Brown in on the hit. And Adonis Howard, the defensive end, also in on the hit for Ben Davis, which will bring up third down and 10 for Carmel at their own 30-yard line.
The thing I've loved about Ben Davis's defense tonight is their ability to read really everything that's been thrown at them. Nothing has phased them tonight.
4 up front for Ben Davis. Colner clapping his hands for the snap. Colner firing left outside the numbers. He's got a man at the 35-yard line, and that was looked like Brandon Adams on the reception, and Mark Zachary, who's getting a lot of attention from D1 schools on the tackle, which will bring up fourth down and 5 for Carmel from their own 35-yard line.
I expect to see some pressure here.
Colner taking the snap. Colner in the pocket, fires left over the middle, and that is a complete miscommunication with his receiver, and is incomplete, thrown into no man's land, which will bring up first down and 10 at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know what the play call was, but I think if the receiver thought he was going one way and quarterback thought he was going the other.
Alex Hall in at running back for Carmel. Ben Davis with 4 up front. Colner taking the snap. Handoff up the middle to Hall, and Hall is going to take it left. And just shy of the first down marker on the left hash, he will be stopped, which will bring up second down and 3 for Carmel at their own 37-yard line. Elijah Hearns on the stop for Ben Davis. Second down 3 for Carmel at their own 37-yard line. Colner taking the snap, handoff up the middle to his running back Hall, and Hall will be stopped at the line of scrimmage. And once again on the stop for Ben Davis, Andrew Evans, who has been an enforcer all day.
Absolutely. I think after a performance like this, when they go back and they look at some film, he's going to be getting a lot of high fives in that locker room.
8 minutes left in the period. Third down and 3 for Carmel. And there is movement up front before the snap, and we will see what the call is, but there was quite a bit of movement from Ben Davis, and I expect an offsides call as the official will point that way.
Yeah, I think he was able to throw him off.
A 5-yard penalty on the offsides call that was on Ben Davis. And that will bring up first down and 10 for Carmel at their own 42-yard line. Colner taking the snap. Handoff up the middle to Johnson, and Johnson plows his way through defenders on the left hash mark, and he'll be stopped at the 45-yard line, which will bring up second down and medium for Carmel.
I'm genuinely impressed because with how that rush looked and how they got him at first, and I did not think he was going to be able to stumble and get a gain of a yard. I didn't think it was going to happen.
It looked like he only got a yard on that. It was a little bit of forward progress, but second down and 9 for Carmel at their own 43-yard line. Colner taking the snap. Play action, fires right, and that pass is going to be dropped on the right side of the field. Pass intended for Tucker outside the numbers at the 45-yard line.
I like the little out route, but Ben Davis rushing, the coverage, rushing attack, I should say, the coverage is just it's all come together. It's been really
Third
great.
down and 9 for Carmel at their own 43-yard line. Colner taking the step, handoff left to the running back. Cocks it left, just shy of the 50-yard line, is stopped, and that was Craig Kepler once again on the carry for Carmel. and he will be stopped by a swarm of white, which will bring up 4th down for Carmel.
I really want to see Carmel try to stretch the field more. I don't know if the arm strength's just not there yet or what it is, but I'd like to see some deep balls.
Yeah, even looking at Colner's freshman tape, it's a lot of check downs, but the potential is definitely there. 4th down and 5 for Carmel. Colner taking the snap. Colner firing left deep at the 30-yard line over his tight end's head, left on the left sideline. And that will make it 1st down and 10 for Carmel at their own 30. As you know, after a conversion is not made on 3 downs, the team has to go back to their own 30-yard line. 5 minutes left in this period before we go to some special teams work.
I really liked the play there. If we could go back just a second. Actually, no.
Colner at his own 30 taking the snap. Handoff up the middle, and he's going to get to the 35-yard line. That was Craig Kepler once again on the carry, and he gets tripped up at the 35-yard line, bringing up 2nd down and 5 for Carmel.
I think I'd like to see a quarterback design run. I know that Ben Davis has read everything pretty well.
And hold on, new quarterback in for Carmel. This is Zach Trent in at quarterback. Trent at the 35-yard line taking the snap. Handoff up the middle to the running back. He's going to get swallowed up by the Ben Davis D-line. And on the carry was Alex Hall for Carmel. But he was swallowed up by that Ben Davis D-line, which will bring up 3rd down for Carmel at their own 32-yard line.
Ben Davis, defensive coordinator, needs a pay raise, that's for sure.
Yeah. 3 receivers right for Carmel. Trent putting his right foot down, extending the hands, taking the snap. Hand off to Hall up the middle. Hall plowing his way through defenders, and he's going to get up the middle to about the 38-yard line, which will bring up 4th down and short for Carmel. It's going to be 4th down and 2 for Carmel at their own 38-yard line. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the period. Trent also yet to make a varsity snap. 4 up front for Ben Davis. And there was movement up front, but they're not going to make the call. And the running back is going to be stopped way behind the line of scrimmage, which is going to bring up 1st down and 10 for Carmel at their own 30-yard line. But I have to say, it looked like there was movement up front for Ben Davis. It looked like they had an edge rusher go off way too early.
I know, I thought the same thing. I was surprised the flag was not thrown.
Two and a half minutes left in this drill for Carmel at their own 30-yard line. Ben Davis showing 4.25. Trent taking the snap. Hand off to Johnson. Johnson cocks it right. He's going to get to the line of scrimmage before being stopped by, once again, the guilty party, Andrew Evans at linebacker for Ben Davis. And that will bring up 2nd down and 10 for Carmel, still at the 30-yard line.
Ben Davis is doing a really good job of just beating the guards and the tackles and just getting right to the running backs. It's impressive to see.
Once again, 4 up front for Ben Davis. Looks like 4-2-5 for Ben Davis. 2 receivers on each side. Hall motioning right. Trent taking the snap, firing right towards Hall, the running back on the screen pass outside the numbers 25, but he drops it. And after the scramble for the ball, that will bring up 3rd down and 10 for Carmel at their own 30-yard line with 1:40 left in this period.
Must say, a growing trend we're seeing tonight is on these running back trail routes, them dropping the ball, tapping a couple times tonight.
3rd down and 10 for Carmel at their own 30-yard line. Trent putting his right foot down. Points out something he doesn't like on defense. Extending his hands for the snap. Trent in the gun. Trent firing deep right over the field. He's got a man at the 45-yard line on the right sideline, and he'll be stopped just shy of the 40-yard line. And that was Brandon Holbrook for Carmel. And that will move the chains for Carmel as they look to possibly get something going and put some points on the board with 55 seconds left of the clock ticking. As Carmel in the hurry-up offense, ball at the Ben Davis 41. 2 receivers left for Carmel. Ben Davis with 4 up front. Trent taking a snap, handoff up the middle to his running back, Kepler. And Kepler trucks his way for a gain of about 2, which will bring up 2nd down and long.
Not really understanding the call there, but more of a hurry-up offense. More of a passing type of formation right now. But
And looks like we will only have 1 play left in this drill. 2nd down and 9 for Carmel at the Ben Davis 40. Trent claps his hands, tries to get a guy off sides, and it looks like he did. Zach Trent, a young quarterback, but already showing his veteran instincts.
absolutely.
And we await the penalty. And with Carmel moving up, the clock is still at 0. Maybe they will run 1 more play. But this will bring up, looks like 2nd down and 3 or 4 from the Ben Davis 35. Trent taking the snap, handoff left, way behind the line of scrimmage. He had his receiver Tucker, Norwell Tucker, but he stopped way behind the line of scrimmage. Jalen Harris on the tackle, and that is going to put an end to the Carmel Ben Davis block. They will do some special teams plays, and then we will get to the main event, the sectional rematch, Westfield and Carmel. But Carmel Ben Davis, let's go back to last year when these 2 teams met, and Carmel picking up the win at home against Ben Davis, led by Hunter Brown, who we have not really seen tonight, having a 10-tackle game as Carmel picking up a win against Ben Davis last year. Both, as we see Hunter Brown, or we see him on the sideline, he is not suited up to play, which would explain why we have not called his name tonight.
I really want to praise Carmel's defense tonight. They did an outstanding job, and they exceeded expectations by far. They look like a strong unit.
And the mighty green Westfield Shamrocks marching back towards the track, ready to start their part of the scrimmage, the 3rd part. But we do have some special teams to get out of the way. There will be some punting for Carmel. Carmel punting from their own 25-yard line. Once again, we don't have the most accurate Carmel roster sheet, but so we do not have the name of the punter, unfortunately, which leaves me and Drew in the dark, but also you, the viewer, which is a very unfortunate thing.
Yeah, Carmel does not supply JV rosters.
Yeah, come on, Carmel. Joshua Playcheck on the punt. Back deep to receiver Ben Davis at the 30 is Mark Zachary and Zane Skabinski, the 2 punt returners in the last punt drills. The punt is off. It looks like it's going to be Zachary going for it, but no, it's going to take a bounce at the 20-yard line, right hash. This ball is going to get to about the 17-yard line. Josh Plasek, a pretty good punt, I will say.
Oh, always. You gotta love the bounce.
Plasek will punt again, same spot at the Carmel 25-yard line. Plasek on the punt. Bobbles it a bit, and this one's way too high in the air, and it's going to drop it midfield on the Rocks logo. It takes a bounce towards the Carmel side, and it will land on the left hash at the Carmel 45.
Really, the Carmel special teams coordinator, that's not what you want to see.
Yeah, definitely not. Now we will see some kicking and punting from Ben Davis. Once again, 8 special team snaps, and then we will go into our third event, Westfield and Carmel, a sectional rematch. The crosstown rivals going at it. As the sun comes down on a beautiful Westfield night, but I must acknowledge as we look to the other side of the field, Ben Davis having a few fans show up coming from a very far distance.
Yeah, they traveled well tonight. It reminds me of the Ohio State Buckeyes. They always seem to travel well as well.
And once again, we saw in the last scrimmage, Nate Williams on the punt. Not Nate Williams. Looks like Alvin Contreras on the punt for Ben Davis. Back deep to receive for Carmel is Christian Peterson and Norwell Tucker. High snap over the punter's head. This one's going into the end zone. And Contreras kicks it out of bounds, and that will be a safety. And now for Ben Davis, it's going to be Ben Rudolph on to punt like usual. It will still be Tucker and Peterson back deep to receive at the 30. Rudolph getting the snap, low snap, gets it off. This is going to Peterson at the 35 on the right hash, at the 40 outside the numbers, and he will be stopped on the right sideline out of bounds. Austin Hartwell coming in with the pressure. But I will say, though, Ben Davis, I have liked what we've seen from Ben Rudolph, nailing the 55-yarder earlier and also showing off the leg in the punt drill as well.
Absolutely. If that kick didn't put the scouts on notice, I don't know what else will.
And we will continue the special teams drills. We have 4 down, 4 to go. And we will get to the main event, Westfield and Carmel. Carmel did show up late, we do have to mention that. But to be fair, Carmel, it's like a 5-minute drive from here, so you can't give them too much flack.
I'm so excited for this next matchup. I believe both teams, Westfield, it's obviously a hatred for Carmel, but Carmel especially is going to have a chip on their shoulder.
And Westfield, they've been like the little brother to Carmel the past, however long the team's history has gone. But Westfield has flipped the script in all 3 sports, really. In all 3 major sports, I should say. Josh Plasek on the kickoff for Carmel at the Carmel 40-yard line. Back deep to receive for Ben Davis is Nate Williams at the 5-yard line. Plasek kicking off at the 40. This one booted. And that is going to land at the 1-yard line on the right side of the field outside the numbers. Nate Williams picks it up, but they're going to whistle the play dead. But he looked like he had room to run on the right sideline at around the 20.
Absolutely, and shiftiness and quickness as well.
And Nate Williams, you got to like what you've seen from him tonight. Should have had a touchdown earlier if Rogers didn't overthrow him. But I will say he has been everywhere tonight on special teams and at receiver.
Absolutely. He's been all over the field, kind of like a Debo Samuel, really, by comparison. And I think as the season goes on, you're going to see him connect. You're going to see Rodgers connect.
And I love that Debo Samuel comparison because you can use him in the run game and the pass game just like Debo. And it's very hard to find a guy to compare to Debo Samuel like you can with Nate Williams. And now Ben Rudolph kicking off for Ben Davis. Back deep to receive is Norwell Tucker and Christian Peterson. And for those of you tuning in for Westfield, the Westfield Shamrocks are coming up just after a break that we will have soon. But after the special teams unit wraps up in the next few minutes, we will see the Westfield Shamrocks taking on the Carmel Greyhounds. And once again, that chant being started by Andrew Evans for Ben Davis. Rudolph bombs this one right at the 15-yard line, caught by Peterson. Peterson outside the numbers at the 20. He is stopped immediately by Frank Bertram. Frank Bertram laying out the hit in the scrimmage game.
Gotta love it. He's trying to earn that spot.
Yeah, in a scrimmage game, we get a first look at the team as the fans, but at the same time, it's a player trying to assert their dominance and trying to assert their way to a roster spot. But I will say Frank Bertram is a guy that is an exception to that. Frank Bertram has been a pretty good player for Ben Davis the past couple of years. And it looks like we might be getting some field goal action coming up. And with Ben Rudolph nailing the 55-yarder earlier, it will be quite fun to see what he can do with his leg right now.
Absolutely. Maybe he moves a little bit back. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe a little bit back. Do you think he can go for 60?
I do, actually. I think.
All right.
I think it's going to be a low kick, but I think he can hit it.
Yeah, he did have room to spare on the 55-yarder.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I am a big nerd when it comes to kicking and punting. I am very fascinated with the way that kickers and punters view the game and the way they're able to have their foot be an absolute cannon.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of strength and coordination, that's for sure.
Yep. Zane Skabinski holding for Ben Davis. And it's going to be a 50-yard attempt for Ben Rudolph. They're going to move it forward, not back, unfortunately, towards the right hash. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and it is good. Just barely crosses over the middle of the uprights, and Ben Rudolph once again showing off that cannon.
Absolutely. Once again, he's just connected on 2 big field goals now. So if you're a special teams coordinator for Ben Davis, you got to love what you're seeing.
Yeah, Ben Rudolph, he has a cannon of a leg. I have to say it. Ben Rudolph has been incredible his senior year. And I haven't looked at the offers, but I'm sure they're pouring in.
Absolutely, especially after tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if there are any scouts that show up to a scrimmage game. I mean, that would be very cool if we had some scouts here tonight.
Yeah, probably not.
You never know. You might want to look out into the crowd for an Alabama polo. Josh Plakesek on the kick. They're not going to test his range too much. It's going to be a 42-yarder, on the right hash. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and it is high and good right down the middle. Josh Plakesek, maybe they want to move him back.
Maybe that was a high kick. It almost went over the goalpost.
And now Westfield comes onto the field. Ben Davis leaves, and folks, we are getting ready for the main event. The Westfield Shamrocks taking on the Carmel Greyhounds in a sectional rematch. You do not want to miss it. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. And we are back for the main event, the Westfield Shamrocks taking on the Carmel Greyhounds in a sectional rematch for the ages. Let's go back to the last time these two teams played, and it was a Westfield running attack. Kendall Garnett leading Westfield to a 28-9 win at Carmel, with Garnett having 172 yards on the ground with 2 touchdowns. Carmel in the all-yellow uniforms tonight, Westfield in the green, and we have quite the main event on hand tonight.
Absolutely. I think, as I've stated earlier in the broadcast about Carmel, is they don't really lose to Westfield.
Yeah.
But as you said, these past year, I should say, it's been a total switch in the main sports. And I think Carmel's coming out here and they're trying to be like, no, we still own you, and I think that's what they're going to try to do. I'm very interested to see this matchup between Jackson Gilbert against the Carmel defense. The Carmel defense absolutely showed out as a unit earlier tonight. I'm excited to see what they can do.
Yep, the Carmel defense shutting down Ben Davis, and head coach John Hebert for Carmel going into his 9th season, the 2-time 6A state champion in 2016-2019, looking for vengeance. He's never really been the underdog, and here he is tonight against Westfield, and Westfield is really favored in this matchup.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen very much against Carmel, but obviously last year's playoff game, they blew them out at Carmel. I think that's kind of stuck. I'm sure it's stuck with this team. And really interested to see how the O-line, which struggled with the O-line for Westfield, which had tended to struggle with defensive line like Ben Davis. I'm interested to see how they handle Carmel's D-line here tonight.
And boy, is it a beautiful night for football with an incredible crowd on hand. The purple sky as we get into the dusk, and it is going to be quite a ride for this scrimmage. It might get a little bit heated.
It might. It's Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. Not in that sense, but
it's our Ohio
it's
State
our
Michigan.
Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. We'll see what they can do here.
If Westfield starting out on their own 30-yard line, looking to assert their dominance early. Gilbert in at quarterback, Jackson Gilbert, looking pretty solid in the Ben Davis part of the scrimmage. Carmel with 3 up front, 3-4-3 for Carmel. Gilbert extending the hands, taking the snap, fakes the give, throws over the middle at the 45. Pass intended for Bo Braun as he drops it, incomplete, which will bring up 2nd down and 10. I will say, great play action by Jackson Gilbert. It had me fooled for a little bit too.
It did, and I really liked how the DB was, in a non-pass interference way, was able to hold his hands down on Bo Braun to affect the wrist and the motion when trying to grab that ball.
Bo Braun, the lone man right, 2nd down and 10 for Westfield. Gilbert taking the snap, hand off to Garnett. Garnett cocks it up the middle, and he's going to be stopped by a swarm of yellow. He gets thrown to the ground way behind the line of scrimmage for, it looks like it could be a loss of 5, but I don't know if they're going to go with that. Maybe even a gain as with the forward progress, but it looks like it's going to be a loss of 1, which will bring up 3rd down for Westfield. And I have to give credit where credit is due. Camden Trent delivering the heavy hit on that play on Kendall Garnett, which will bring up 3rd down and 9 for Westfield at their own 31-yard line. 4 up front for Carmel, 3 linebackers, 3 left for Gilbert. Gilbert alone in the gun, extending the hands, taking the snap, firing left outside the numbers at the 35. He's got Brock Parker, the tight end. Parker will be stopped by a sea of yellow, which will bring up 4th down. And one of those players was Jake Merez Gomez, which this brings up 4th down and 4 for Westfield, at their own 36-yard line.
I'd like to see some play action from Jackson Gilbert here again.
Yep, Max Nosler lining up at running back. 3 up front for Carmel. Gilbert extending the hands, taking the snap, firing right towards Gabe Aaron Bullis on the screen pass, and Gabe Aaron Bullis is going to be stopped outside the numbers at the 35. A heavy hit by Jabril Randolph, and that is going to put Westfield back at their own 30-yard line. 1st down and 10 with 12:45 left to go in this part of the drill.
Tried running a little out route and was read perfectly by the Carmel defensive backs.
Christian Peterson is obviously the name to know in the Carmel secondary, but Gilbert taking the snap, rolling right, pressure coming, outside the numbers at the 30. He's got a man at the line of scrimmage, but he's going to be stopped as he's hit heavily. That was Bo Braun. But going back to what I was saying earlier, Christian Peterson, the IU commit, is usually the guy you're looking at as a big-time enforcer in the secondary for Carmel, but watch out for Jabril Randolph. He's been making some plays tonight, and it's 2nd down and 9 for Westfield at their own 31-yard line on the right hash. Westfield 3 receivers left. The tight end Nosler right. 2nd down and 9. Gilbert extending the hands, taking the high snap. Gilbert firing over the middle. He's got Nosler at the 50. And Max Nosler getting to the 45-yard line before being stopped by Jabril Randolph over the middle. Max Nosler showing off the strength and the great route running.
I absolutely love that play. Tight end attack right up the middle, big yards.
Gilbert taking the snap, handoff to Garnett right. Garnett at the 45, at the 40, outside the numbers, and he's going to get to the 37-yard line, just shy of the first down marker before a flag is thrown. And every time Kendall Garnett runs the football against Carmel, do you think it gives them PTSD?
I definitely do, especially from Rari Films' TikTok angle of him making that beast cut on them and just run up the score. I think it absolutely does.
Yeah, it gives them a bit of a flashback they do not want to remember. And it looks like Westfield will be moving back. We are still awaiting the call. Potentially a hold. Yep, and Westfield will move back. And this brings up first down for Westfield at their own 47-yard line. Gilbert taking the snap, handoff to Garnett. Garnett still on his feet after the spin move right. And he's going to be stopped just shy of the old line of scrimmage at the 47-yard line. Kendall Garnett showing off the elusiveness.
Yeah, and going back to that penalty, if you're Westfield, you could not have Max Nosler make a huge play like that and then have a costly penalty like that, especially against a deep unit like Carmel.
2nd down and 11 for Westfield. Carmel showing blitz. Gilbert taking the snap, firing over the middle. Gabe Aaron Bullis at the 25. He's got the first down as he stopped at the 20-yard line. Gabe Aaron Bullis, expected to be the #1 receiver yet again, showing why he is the man in this Westfield receiving corps.
I absolutely love Gilbert's pocket presence so far tonight.
1st down and 10. Gilbert taking the snap, handoff left to Garnett. Garnett, it's a cutback move on the left hash mark, and he's going to get just shy of the 15-yard line before being stopped. .8:45 left in this drill. 2nd down and 8 for Westfield at the Carmel 16. Gilbert faking the give to Garnett. He's going to throw it left on the screen pass to Nosler. Nosler on the left sideline. He's going to get the first down as he's stopped at around the 5-yard line. Max Nosler once again making a big play.
Absolutely. Running that little short out route in, again, a couple yards. Just good situational awareness from Gilbert.
And 1st and goal for Westfield at the 10-yard line. And there is movement up front. We will see what the call is. It looks like it is on Westfield, as I saw the head official pointing to his right. A 5-yard penalty puts them back at the 15-yard line on the left hash. Gilbert taking the snap, handoff Garnett left. Garnett outside the numbers at the 15. He is stopped by Christian Peterson, and that is going to bring up 3rd down for Westfield. .7:25 left in this drill.
I think if they hadn't have got him right there, I think he would have gone in and taken it to like the 1 because he had an opening there.
Yeah, Kendall Garnett, a very elusive back. 3 receivers right for Westfield. 4th down at the 15. Gilbert taking the snap, rolling right at the 10-yard line outside the numbers. He's got Zeke Richardson, and he's going to be stopped just shy of the first down marker at the 10-yard line. Zeke Richardson with his first reception of the day. And that puts Westfield back at their own 30-yard line, and what looked like a promising drive gets stopped short.
I know the penalty obviously killed them, but also just Carmel read all those runs and really read the goal line formation so well.
1st down and 10 for Westfield at their own 30-yard line. Three up front for Carmel. Gilbert taking the snap. Handoff up the middle, and it looks like, was that Max Nosler? Never mind, that was Micah Webster, sorry. Stopped way behind the line of scrimmage by a sea of yellow, which will bring up 2nd down and 12 for Westfield at their own 28-yard line. 2 linebackers for Carmel. Gilbert taking the high snap. Handoff Webster. Webster cocking it right. Getting through defenders, and he's stopped just shy of the 35-yard line. Micah Webster, the former tight end, also playing a linebacker/running back role this season.
Yeah, really can do it all, and I just think Carmel's read every single rushing attack Westfield's tried throwing at him. It's just a solid defense, like I said earlier.
Aiden Grabowski in at quarterback for Westfield. 3rd down and 7 for Westfield at the 33-yard line. Grabowski taking the snap, handing it off left to Webster. Webster outside the numbers at the 35. Hurdles the defender. Gets to the left sideline at the 40. Micah Webster hurdling over Christian Peterson. And that's going to bring up 4th down and short, but Micah Webster over his head.
Yeah, that was just unreal athleticism right there for Micah Webster. Obviously, saw him in track, a beast athlete, but that was right there that was incredible.
That's why he's playing running back. 4th down and 1 for Westfield at their own 39-yard line. Grabowski still in at quarterback. 2 receivers right. Irwin, the lone man, left. Webster still in the backfield. Carmel showing 4-2-5. Grabowski taking the high snap. Handoff left outside the numbers. Webster getting his way through defenders. He's going to be stopped at the 45-yard line on the left sideline. A flag is thrown, but Westfield did get the 1st down on that play. Micah Webster, a big body, showing why he deserves to be in that backup running back spot behind Kendall Garnett.
Absolutely. Just the shiftiness, the explosiveness, kind of reminds me of a Derrick Henry. It's just in size.
A Derrick Henry in size, but speed is the question. We will see. And that penalty is on Carmel, and Westfield will continue on moving the chains in the Carmel territory. A 15-yard penalty, maybe for a late hit. We're still not quite sure, but now 1st and 10 for Westfield at the Carmel 42. Grabowski taking the snap, handoff again to Webster. Webster cocking it right at the 30, right sideline 20, 15, 10, 5, 1 man to beat, right pylon, touchdown! Micah Webster showing off the speed for the touchdown.
Beautifully designed running back stretch. Absolutely amazing.
And that will put Westfield on the board 6-0 with 3 minutes left in the period. Wow.
Absolutely. A great outside zone run right there, designed perfectly. And Webster has the speed, the strength, and Carmel he beat him. It's flat out.
And we see Micah Webster kind of limping off. I wouldn't quite go that far, but he's still kind of not struggling to get to the sideline, but kind of lingering his way there. But hopefully he is all right. Maybe he pulled a hammy on his way to the end zone, all the way to the house. It will still be Grabowski for Westfield at their own 30-yard line. Carmel showing blitz. Middleton in at tight end, motioning left. Grabowski taking the high snap, Pitching it left to Nosler. Nosler at the 30-yard line. Outside the numbers to 35. Still on his feet at the 50-yard line. At the 40, 30, left sideline. 10, 5. Touchdown, Max Nosler. Back-to-back touchdowns by tight ends, but a flag is down on the field.
It's maybe coming back.
Unfortunately, I think you're right. I did see the flag, but I wanted Max Nosler to have his moment.
Absolutely.
And it unfortunately will be against Westfield, likely for a hold, but Max Nosler with a big-time touchdown run almost made it a 12-0 ball game. We have 1 minute left for the Westfield offense. And now Westfield will have it first down and 20 from their own 20-yard line, trying to get to their own 40. Aiden Grabowski will stay in at quarterback, Max Nosler in at running back. Grabowski taking the snap. Grabowski, the lefty, firing outside the numbers at the 20 for Jacob Braun, and Jacob Braun gets stopped at the line of scrimmage on the right sideline, and that will bring up second down and 20.
Just still disappointed about that penalty, man. I really, like you said, wanted Max to have that moment.
A big-time play stopped by the penalty, and it looks like we are only going to have one more play left for Westfield on offense. Second down and 20 with 15 seconds left. Hand off to Garnett. Garnett, shake a tackler to 30. He's on his feet, right hash mark. 50, only one man behind him. He's going to cut right at the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Kendall Garnett going all the way for Westfield. An 80-yard touchdown to the house.
The Russian attack is on display right there. Incredible run by Kendall Garnett.
Kendall Garnett showing off the speed, and the second touchdown rushing-wise for Westfield, giving them a 12-0 lead over Carmel, and that is going to end that part of the scrimmage, as Carmel's offense will try to even the score.
Got a lot of work to do.
Got a lot of work to do indeed. Anthony Colner and the Carmel offense at their own 30-yard line. Colner taking the snap. Handoff up the middle to the running back. It is going to be Craig Kepler. He gets to about the 33-yard line before being stopped, which will bring up second down and 8 for Carmel at their own 32-yard line.
Yeah, and don't think the Russian attack is probably going to match Westfield's right there. Because realistically, it could be 18-0 right now. Wouldn't have been for the penalty.
Colner taking the snap. Handoff right. It's going to be Kepler again on the right hash mark. Gets to the 35-yard line before being stopped. It looked like Deacon King was in on the tackle for Westfield, which will bring up third down and 5 for Carmel. Third down and 5 for Carmel. Colner looking to his right. Colner putting his right foot down. Westfield showing 4-2-5. Colner taking the snap. Handoff up the middle to the running back Johnson. And Johnson is going to get a gain of about 2 before being stopped by, it looks like, Andrew Liskey. Which brings up fourth down and short for Carmel at their own 38-yard line. 4th and 2, it looks like.
I'd expect Westfield to apply a lot of pressure here. I think that we all know what they're about to do, and expect some pressure here.
4th and 2. Colner setting his hands for the snap. Handoff up the middle to Johnson. Johnson plowing his way through defenders, getting to the 45-yard line for the first down on the right hash. Colton von der Sar right behind them, but still, Johnson, got to give credit where credit is due, able to keep pushing despite having the heavy hitter von der Sar right on him.
Absolutely. Von der Sar's it was a problem for the Ben Davis offense, and I'd expect soon he'll be a problem for Carmel.
1st and 10 for Carmel at their own 42-yard line. Colner taking the snap, handoff up the middle to the running back. It's going to be Hall. Hall gets stopped out around the line of scrimmage, left by Lennox Williams. And that is going to bring up 2nd down and long for Carmel. And Lennox Williams, man, he is expected to get into an even bigger role this season, even though last year he was in a huge role leading the team in sacks with 4.5 on the year. But he's expected to play that Sam linebacker spot, which he plays oh so well. 2nd down and 8 for Carmel at the 45-yard line, their own 45. Colner extending the hands for the snap. Colner taking the snap, firing right outside the numbers 50. He's got Norwell. Norwell still on his feet, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds at the 35-yard line. It looks like by Micah Webster, but Norville Tucker able to get the first down for Carmel. First down and 10 for Carmel at the Westfield 34. Westfield showing 4-2-5. Colner taking the snap. Handoff left to the running back, Hall. Hall still on his feet on the left hash mark at the 25-yard line. He is hit by Jackson Floyd, which will bring up 2nd down and 2 for Carmel. 11 minutes left in the drill for Carmel. Looking to even the score, down 12-0. 2nd down and 2 for Carmel at the Westfield 26. 4-2-5 for Westfield. Westfield showing blitz. Colner taking the snap. Handoff up the middle to Kepler, and Kepler gets to about the line of scrimmage before being stopped by von der Sar and Graybill, it looks like, which will bring up 3rd down for Carmel. 3rd down and 2 to go at the Westfield 26.
This is the key play right here for this drive.
A key play indeed. Carmel looking to get revenge here at Westfield as the sky turns the dark here on this beautiful Westfield night. 3rd down and 2 for Carmel at their own at the Westfield 26, sorry. Colner taking the snap. Handoff up the middle to Kepler. Kepler, he's going to get hit hard at the first down marker, but did he get the first down? It looks like he did. Deacon King once again on the stop.
Yeah, Carmel's just slowly driving down. Westfield's got to watch them now that they're in their territory.
And Deacon King, the first time we're seeing him get a lot of varsity reps, and now we're seeing why he's got that D1 offer from Central Michigan. 1st down and 10 from the Westfield 21 for Carmel. Colner taking the snap, handoff to Kepler. Kepler cocks it right. He gets to about the 15-yard line before being stopped by a swarm of green, which will bring up 2nd down and medium for Carmel. Keegan Krupp on the tackle. First time hearing Krupp's name called. But 6'1", 190 pounds, Keegan Krupp can do some damage. 2nd down and 4 for Carmel at the Westfield 15. Westfield showing blitz. Colner taking the snap. Fakes the give. Passes left. He's got a man at the left hash mark. And the ball is out the 10-yard line. Westfield says they have it. They fight for the ball. And Westfield has the football. And that puts an end to the drive for Carmel. And Westfield, Andrew Liskey getting on top of it.
That was probably the biggest play of this whole entire period because they were driving. They needed that. They were going to score with the way it was looking.
and that puts Carmel back at their own 30 with 8 minutes left. Westfield up 12-0. And a substitution, Thomas Vandergriff coming in for Brock Stewart. Brock Stewart has had quite the day tonight, so he deserves a little bit of rest. Gabe Aaron Bolas is also in at corner for Westfield. Colner at his own 30, taking the snap. Handoff up to middle to Johnson. Johnson gets up the middle, a gain of about 2 before being stopped by Keegan Krupp and William Goodvine, the Miami of Ohio commit. And that brings up 2nd down and 8 for Carmel at their own 32-yard line.
It's got to put him away now.
That is exactly what the mindset should be. 2nd down and 8 for Carmel at their own 32-yard line. Westfield showing 4-2-5. Colner clapping his hands for the snap. Takes the snap, rolls left. Outside the pocket, outside the numbers. Colner firing towards the 40, looking for Tucker, but over his head left and incomplete. And that brings up 3rd down and 8 for Carmel at their own 32 with 7 minutes left.
This 3rd down, probably the biggest play of this drive right here. So far.
Yeah, so far the biggest play of this drive indeed, Drew. And Carmel, if they were out for vengeance tonight, they're not showing it. 3rd down and 8 for Carmel at their own 32-yard line. Westfield with 2 linebackers, 4 up front. Colner taking the snap. Colner dancing in the pocket, rolling right. He's going to take off at the right hash mark 40, and they're going to whistle the play dead. And he's hit hard by Andrew Liskey. And there's a fight at midfield between Andrew Liskey and Anthony Colner. And we have a huge crowd at midfield as Andrew Liskey came in with the late hit. And Anthony Colner responding back with a shove.
Liskey's hearing it from Coach Gilbert.
Yeah, Coach Gilbert not liking that. Definitely a late hit and something that was uncalled for. But Cato June coming in for Westfield. And Cato June, if you somehow did not know, the son of Colts legend and Colts linebackers coach Cato June.
I would expect I'd expect 2 penalties there actually, because after the late hit, quarterback got right back up and struck right back at him, and a fight, almost a fight, we'll call it, started at midfield.
I mean, it would, if there were 2 penalties, it would likely be offsetting penalties.
Yep, exactly.
But with 5:40 left in this game, Westfield up 12-0 over Carmel. I think Westfield's mindset right now should be, where are we going for dinner after the game? And we still have the stoppage in play as the officials go over what they're going to do. Now is the perfect time to plug next week's broadcast against New Pal at home, 7 o'clock. If you somehow can't make it to the game, we would love to have you here. As always, WHS Sports Live, the home of Westfield Sports. And Riverview Health Stadium, Friday night, always a party. This is the place to be every Friday night.
No better place than Westfield.
Absolutely. And Westfield having quite the crowd out tonight, showing that they are excited for Westfield football ahead of the first game next week. And they are looking great in this scrimmage, although taking a 6-0 loss to Ben Davis in the first scrimmage. Ben Davis and Carmel tying 0-0 in the second, and Westfield looking like they're going to escape with a 12-0 win over Carmel possibly, but still a lot of time left on the clock. 5:44 left on the clock for Carmel.
I wonder what the film is gonna, or I wonder what watching film on Monday is gonna look like for Andrew Liskey, because that just So it's not.
He's going to hear it. But I'm scared for opposing teams seeing the Westfield run game, seeing a Kendall Garnett touchdown. But before that, Max Nosler should have had a touchdown, the tight end. Then Michael Webster, the former tight end and linebacker, getting a rushing touchdown. This shows that Westfield, they have the elusiveness and quickness of Kendall Garnett, but they also have the punch it down your throat type of guys like Micah Webster and Max Nosler, and that creates a very dangerous run game.
Absolutely, and I think given time, say Melvin comes back as quarterback, then you really have kind of like a Baltimore Ravens, J.K. Dobbins, Lamar Jackson look. That's the closest thing I could compare it to.
That might be one of my favorite things to do on these broadcasts is comparing these players to NFL guys that we watch every Sunday.
Absolutely. And that's who they should, I think, aspire to be like.
And Carmel back out on the field, and like I said, it could have gotten a little heated. It sure did. It's Zach Trent in at quarterback for Carmel. Westfield showing 4 up front. The crowd is loud. Trent taking the snap for the Westfield 40. Handoff up the middle to Hall. Hall is going to trip up at around the 37-yard line before being stopped by Alex Aaron Bolus.
Sophomore with tremendous upside.
Yep, Alex Aaron Bolus, the younger brother of Gabe Aaron Bolus, and he, in his sophomore year, getting some varsity reps. We love to see that. 2nd down and 6 for Carmel at the Westfield 36. Westfield 4-2-5. Trent taking the snap. Hand off to Hall again. Hall up the middle. Hall will be stopped at the 30-yard line by Cato June as he was able to truck his way through a few defenders, and that will be a Carmel 1st down. With 4 minutes and 45 seconds left, looking to get some points on the board.
Yeah, that's all they can really ask for.
And Carmel, the clock keeps ticking. Every going second is maybe less hope they have of potentially pulling off a comeback, but only preseason. 1st down and 10 for Carmel at the Westfield 28. Trent taking the snap, handoff Johnson. Johnson's going to get stopped at the line of scrimmage. A big-time hit. Jadion Smith getting the wrap up. And we see quite a few guys that I would love to get some more, action watching. Ainsley Awali on the D line and Drew Wolf. 2nd down and 10 for Carmel. 2nd down and 8, for Carmel at the Westfield 26. Trent taking the snap. Trent in the gun. Trent firing left towards the end zone, or at the 10-yard line, and that pass is going to be intercepted. Cato Jude on the interception for Westfield. And that will be good night and a nail in the coffin for Carmel.
That was every time I've thought Westfield or Carmel's going to score, Westfield's forced a turnover.
Cato June, born and raised Indiana, has football in his veins and in his DNA, making a big-time play. And with 2:45 left in the drill, Carmel at their own 30-yard line. Trent still at quarterback. 4 up front for Westfield, 2 linebackers. Trent putting his right foot down, extending the hands, taking the snap. Hand off to Johnson up the middle, and Johnson's going to get tripped up at the line of scrimmage. He will be lucky to even get a yard on that. Alex Aaron Bolus on the trip up.
The sophomore, I almost said sensation. He's got to prove himself, but getting these varsity reps and succeeding as he has is showing me that he can definitely be something special.
I definitely see it in him. We're approaching the 2-minute mark. 2nd down and 9 for Carmel at their own 31. Trent putting the right foot down, claps his hands for the ball, takes the snap, Hand off to Kepler up the middle. Kepler plows his way to about the 39-yard line before being stopped by, it looked like Thomas Vandergrip was a part of the tackle, which will bring up 3rd down and 2 for Carmel at their own 38-yard line. Third down and 2 for Carmel at their own 38. Westfield showing 4-2-5, and there is movement up front. It looks like it's going to be offsides on Ainsley Owali, maybe a false start, but no, it will be a offsides penalty on Ainsley Owali. That will move the chains. A 5-yard penalty puts Carmel in more of a position to possibly strike. But 1 minute left, time is ticking. First down and 10 for Carmel at their own 42. Trent taking the snap, handoff Kepler up the middle. Kepler gets to about the 47-yard line before being stopped by, it looks like, Owali getting in on the stop, but unfortunately, it looks like Craig Kepler is struggling to make it off the field, which in a scrimmage is a very unfortunate thing to see.
Absolutely. No, I never want to see that.
Luckily, he is able to walk off on his own power. Possibly one play left for Carmel. Second down and 6 for Carmel with the clock ticking, 10 seconds left. Trent taking the snap. Handoff up the middle to the running back. And he's going to get to about the first down marker before being stopped by Landon Porter Jr. It's going to be third down and short, but the clock has hit 0. Will they run one more play, or are they going to end it here?
Looks like they're going to end it.
Yep, looks like they're coming off the field, which means we will see special teams, and then after that, that will be the end of this incredible scrimmage showing both teams, showing all 3 teams looking pretty good, I will say. Westfield picking up a 12-0 win in this scrimmage over the Carmel Greyhounds. Carmel unable to get revenge for their sectional loss, and it looks like their cold streak against Westfield continues.
And I know one would tend to give the offense the win of the day, which in certain cases they definitely did, the rushing game. But I really salute the defense, because both times Carmel looked like they were just driving right down the field, and both times Westfield was able to come up with a turnover. And I really, really admire that, because that was just clutch. That's the only way I could put it.
And we have punting drills. There will be 8 special teams drills, and that is going to end the night. And we'll get to see Brody Bame's leg once again in field goal tries and punting. And I see fans are filing out. I mean, don't you want to stay for this?
Who doesn't love special teams?
I do. Well, we're still here. And you're still watching, so that's important. Bame punting from his own 25, just like last time. Same as usual. If you are just now tuning in, Bame will punt from his own 25, back deep to receive for Carmel. At their 20, it looks like Norvell Tucker and Christian Peterson. Bame gets the snap, and he's going to rocket this one towards the 25. This one's going to bounce at the 35-yard line, and it lands on the right hash mark, 32. Brody Bame once again showing off the leg. He's had quite the looks he's been getting from colleges, from the likes of Duke, Iowa State, and getting selected to the AT&T Army Bowl. I mean, that is a pretty big deal. Brody Bame is killing it in his senior year.
Absolutely, and I'm not surprised. He's been a success here since day one.
Is that Casey Graybill in that punter for Westfield, playing from his own 25? Graybill going to let this one rip at the 30, and Tucker gets at the 35, right hash, but they're going to whistle the play dead. And it looks like we're going to get some punting action for Carmel with Gabe Aaron Bullis back deep to receive for Westfield. Josh Plagzek kicking and punting for Carmel. And Josh Plagzek, we did see him absolutely drill a 42-yarder earlier. I'm excited to see what he can do in the field goal drill coming up.
I am too. I'm really excited for that.
Aaron Bullis back deep to receive at the 25-yard line. Plagzek punting from the 25. Plagzek gets the snap. Lets this one rip. Brock Stewart almost blocking it, and Aaron Bullis will go for the fair catch at the 25-yard line, but he drops it and picks it up. Got very lucky, but Aaron Bullis, although dropping it, able to pick it up and prevent disaster, even though it's just a drill.
Yeah, but sometimes that can, I don't know, the dropped punts is scaring me a little. I'm sure they'll clear it up though.
And we will see yet another punt from Josh Plagzek. Cato June back deep to receive. I expect Cato June to get some varsity reps for sure, especially after the big-time interception he had. Plagzek gets the punt. Lets this one rip at the 25. June gets it on the left hash at the 30, outside the numbers at the 40, and they will whistle the play dead. And there is going to be a kickoff drill now. Brody Bame on to kickoff for Westfield. And if you're Carmel, despite losing the scrimmage, which has no effect on the regular season, then you have to go through these punting and kickoff drills. What do you think the mindset is for them?
I think that they're a little defeated, I gotta be honest. I genuinely think, and after that first, I don't know if you remember the first possession, they were able to stop Westfield. I think they were thinking, all right, we got Amaru on him, and then after that, the Russian attack just took off. I think they're a little defeated, and I think they're just like, all right, let's get through this so we can get back on the bus and figure it out.
Luckily for them, it's a very short bus ride home, a 5-minute bus drive. For Ben Davis, it's more like a 2-hour bus drive.
Yeah.
And you got to feel for them. But luckily, they were able to win their first scrimmage. Luckily for them, they were able to win their first scrimmage and tie their second, so they aren't feeling too defeated. Bame kicking off from his own 40. Peterson and Tucker back deep to receive for Carmel. Bame kicks it off. And Tucker fumbles it at the right hash mark, cocks it right at the 20 outside the numbers, and he's going to get to about the 30 before whistling the play dead. Next week, Week 1 action. We finally do the real thing. Westfield, New Pal, a rematch of last year's Week 1 matchup at New Pal, where Westfield lost. What do you think? What do you think Westfield can take into that game that they learned from the scrimmage?
I really think the thing that they needed, the biggest takeaway, is the offensive line. They started to find the rhythm at the end, but I'm sure Ben Davis is a tough unit to deal with, but I think New Pal's going to throw a lot at them. Because it's Westfield, it's a big school, and I think that basically they just need to work on the offensive line, become a better unit. Really, everything else has looked really sharp tonight, and good to see.
The one guy on the O-line I'm super impressed with, as we have Plagzek kicking off from his own 40. The one guy I'm really impressed with on the O-line was obviously you think of Ryan Barker and Avery Hudgens when you're thinking of the O-line, but Isaac Cole and Lionel Jetta-Houghton were big-time contributors to the run game tonight. As Plaguesec kicks off from the 40-yard line. And Brock Stewart back at the end zone. It will go for a touchback. That was an absolute rocket. And it looks like we're going to get a kicking drill. But before that, let's talk about our players of the game. Who is your player of the game for Westfield tonight?
Mine's Michael Webster. Tons of big runs and a big touchdown when they needed it. And he just continues to improve. It's such a
You took my pick. You took my pick, Drew, but I'm going with a different pick. I'm going to go with Cato June. Cato June with picking up about 5 tackles and the big-time interception that put the nail in the coffin against Carmel. Cato June, although only a sophomore, I expect him to play a big role this season to be in that kind of like a 7-man cornerback rotation for Westfield. It's definitely very interesting, and I like what I see from him.
Big things are to come for sure.
Brody Bame on the kick. Jackson Gilbert holding for him, as per usual. Looks like it's going to be about a 47-yard attempt. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up for Bame. It's low, and it is no good. It looked like it was a little bit left, but it was low, and Brody Bame missing from 47.
Rare miss from Brody Bame.
A rare miss from Brody Bame, indeed. You see, I'm not used to Brody Bame missing that, and it shook me up, as you can tell.
Yeah, I think everyone is. He's usually pretty automatic.
Yeah, you can see as I was stuttering through my words, I'm at a loss for words.
He'll find it. Just a scrimmage, but I'm really liking what I've seen from Westfield tonight.
And Josh Plaguesec on the kick for Carmel. A 45-yard attempt on the right hash. Here's the snap. Here's the hold. The kick is up, and it is high and no good. They're going to say it was left, and it's going to be no good for Josh Plaguesec.
I thought it was good, but I couldn't see her.
It's very hard to tell from the press box. So we kind of have to wait for the official ruling. And down there on the field, Deacon King doing some cartwheels. It's all smiles for this Westfield team. And as Jake Gilbert, head coach Jake Gilbert, and head coach John Hebert for Carmel, shaking hands at the 40-yard line, and that is going to put an end to this very eventful scrimmage. And if you're Westfield, although it's just preseason, do you treat this like a win?
I would, 100%. Carmel's a big dog. They're a top school. They won the scrimmage. They won the game. That's the way I see it.
I've been told many times, count the wins. And if you're Westfield, you got to count the wins, even if they come this early in the season. The O-line looked great. The defense had its moments, and the run game looked absolutely incredible. And as Westfield and Carmel meet at midfield to shake hands, and that will end the scrimmage. It's been quite an eventful one, folks.
Absolutely. Love doing it.
And that is going to be goodbye from us tonight. Before we go, I would like to thank our producer, Alan, as without Alan, there is no show. He is the heart and soul of this operation. And I would like to thank you, the viewer, most importantly. Without you, there definitely is no show. And I would also like to thank all the passionate Westfield fans that came out tonight supporting their team. And Drew, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
I'm Rowan Elbert. Good night, Westfield.